AI influencers came up quite a lot. They're popping up here and there. It's very, very early days. My personal opinion is no, they're not going to take over the market at all. Real creators, real influencers are still going to dominate for the foreseeable future for a very long period of time. I just don't think people are going to buy and have trust in someone that doesn't exist.
I love supporting young entrepreneurs, and on today's episode we've got one who has built his company here in Dubai, a talent agency that matches big brands with social media influencers. Now that world isn't new, it's evolving, but you know what? AI is now playing a role, and if you haven't seen it, you've been under a rock, but there are AI influencers making fortunes. Welcome to the show, the influencer marketing talent agency gem, Danny Agg. What do I need to do? Tell me the steps I need to follow.
If I wanted to start tomorrow, this is exactly what I would do. Start making videos every single day. Once you then started building up some kind of audience and you're like, right, I want to make a living out of this, I want to take it more seriously. Collaborating with other creators is one of the best things that anyone can do. The other way creators make money, if we go quickly onto that, would be, number one is brand deals, generally the core for a lot of them. Two is platforms own creator funds. Third way is own brands and products, but it might not work. You might not ever go viral.
Well, Danny Agg, thanks for coming to join us on the show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
So how many podcasts have you done first before we go any further?
This would be the third, I believe, but this is definitely the best one I've been on, I'd say. Yeah.
I hope the other two were mega stars though, to make it that, but probably not.
No, looking forward to it.
Okay, so let's just get straight into it here and understand a little bit about you and really this whole world of influencer marketing, because it's an industry that a lot of people don't know about. Mm-hmm. They see and hear a lot of people making a lot of money, but they can't quite correlate that. And to be honest with you, I'm not too dissimilar. Mm-hmm. I sometimes, I think we've all come to understand the whole OnlyFans model, where you've got these people that are using OnlyFans to do whatever they do to get people to subscribe to their channels, and whatever that is that they do, whether that's illegal or legal, depending what country you're in.
Very grey area, that one.
Yeah, definitely controversial. And so we kind of get it, and most people with morals don't want their kids doing some stuff like that, but there are lots of people out there. But then there's this next tier of kind of like the more professional version of the same thing. Yeah. People out there that are using their social media channels to create an audience, and then that audience that they're creating, finding a way of doing brand deals or on basically making money through their social media. Yeah. A lot of these people are criticized because it doesn't appear like they do much else. Yeah. Okay. Or they're famous for being famous. Almost. Yeah. So tell us a bit about your business. Tell us how you got into it, and tell us what makes a great influencer, and how do they make money, and why is it a business that you decided to put yourself into?
Great. Yeah, no, a few good questions there. I'll start off with, firstly, Zodiac Global is my company. We're primarily talent management. So there's sort of two verticals in the whole space. There's talent management and there's influencer marketing as an influencer marketing agency. Talent management, which is probably 80% of what we do now, is exclusively managing, representing talent. Like, for example, like yourself would sort of fall into that category in some respect on more of the business and your valuable content. So if I was representing you, if I was your manager, which is what we do for people, my job would be to get you the best possible deal. Not as a PA. This PA is a different role. That's, someone that books your haircuts and all that kind of stuff. But your manager, your agent, which would be me, is to handle all inbound, all outbound inquiries from a business point of view related to you as a content creator. So whether it's an individual, yourself speaking at an event, a collaboration with a brand, a sponsor for, for this podcast, for example, my job or our job or anyone on my team's job would be to get you the best possible deal, which is effectively the most amount of money for the least amount of deliverables, whether that's the amount of social posts or the usage that they have of your name or image, right? That's on the financial side, on talent management. Wider to that, we do everything for them, particularly for big ones that need it. So again, not the PA role, but We do content strategy. We sit down with our core talent on a weekly, even, I still personally manage about 9 people across the company. We manage 48 individuals now. But it's everything: content strategy, advice, events, PR, gifting, travel, collaborations with other creators, ideas, almost like a therapist sometimes as well, to just help them get through, whatever they're going through, whether it's personally, mentally. Being a creator can be quite a lonely job, especially if, let's use the example of, we work with a lot of food talent, so people that are big chefs on Instagram. They're not necessarily a chef by trade, but their job is to wake up every single day and make content about food, whether it's recipes. If they're doing that, if they live on their own, if they don't have a manager or an agent, they're completely left to their own devices. Whereas if they're with an agency like us, they can pick up the phone to us every day. So, I'm filming this today. What do you think? What can you try and organize me to go to this event? Can you try and organize me to collab with this other creator? And then effectively all these non-financial things that are going to build that person up as a creator, whether it's more followers, more engagement, more general brand awareness for them as a person, that's going to lead to more brand interest, and that's how they're going to make more money.
Okay, we've got to differentiate here, because you just said talent and influencer.
Yeah.
Okay, what defines an influencer and what defines talent? Because surely there's some crossover here.
Yeah, good question. It's basically a synonym, for the 3 words.
It's a cinnamon.
Is that the right word? Synonym? I think it is.
Synonym, yeah.
Yeah. So influencer, talent, creator, those are the 3 words that people use, and they're pretty much exactly the same thing. Typically, people's general opinion on an influencer would be someone that's just come out of Love Island, looks good in a bikini, and just basically looks good on Instagram. So that's why there's been like negative connotations to the word of influencer, because people think that, it's getting better now. People are respecting it as a job more, because it is a real job and there's real money to be made in it. But in the past, it's had these negative connotations against it, that it's like a lazy person that just looks good on Instagram and blah, blah, blah. I much prefer personally, and if I use the word influencer, I actually slap myself on the wrist, because I don't typically use it. I use creator normally, content creator, someone involved in the creator economy. And that's what we typically use. Talent is another word, but that's just what we use internally. We say like our talent, or talent management. It's all the same thing, basically.
So you basically take a person that has got a social media profile, or is a famous sports person, maybe.
We've got 1 or 2 sports people. Sports a bit more niche and specialized.
Okay, then let's just focus on yours then.
Yeah.
So make sure I'm right about this. Okay, so someone who's got a social media profile.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? What other?
What's the criteria?
Yeah.
So there's a couple of different creators that we would look at managing. So like I said, we're coming up to 50 now, and we're getting really selective. We get approached by probably 20 or 30 a week that say, hey, can you manage me? Most of them, to be honest, they just don't fit the bill. And what is that bill is the question. There's no one size fits all, like specific ticker box. I can, without sounding arrogant, I can look at a profile and within 30 seconds figure out if they're going to make any money or not. Generally speaking, it's having a proper niche, having, number one, real followers and not fake engagement, fake followers, which is quite rife, especially out here in the UAE. And having influence that people would actually buy something that they told them to do. So that doesn't always correlate to how many followers they have.
Okay, so influence. So the attractive girl with the long blonde hair, she advertises the shampoo, and people go buy the shampoo because she says to.
Correct. Like someone like that would be a good creator that is going to make money. It's obviously that's we're going to work with them, because that's how we make money. It's on a % of the fee basis. So I'll give you an example. There's creators that have 5 million followers on TikTok, but their content is so impossible for a brand to integrate with, whether it's too rude or racy or just doesn't make sense. They're not gonna. I'm trying to use one that I've actually worked with before. So I had someone like this, and I saw them when I first started. Thought they're gonna make a fortune, but their content's so almost weird and has no influence. It's just had that virality at some point that they don't make any money. Whereas on the flip side, we can work with, so we've got one like this at the moment, like a mom who's only got 20-30,000 followers, but posts really valuable, specific content about being a mom, let's say, all the audience, 90% of them are moms that are following them because they, resonate with what they're posting. Someone like that has huge influence and actually huge value. If they post, hey, I've just bought this new Mamas and Poppers push chair with an affiliate link, with a code, it's actually going to convert for that brand. Whereas, the Spanish Instagram model that has a 90% male audience following, if they're posting fashion clothes as a promo, it's not going to sell anything.
Right. So I've heard this before. So this is interesting because there was the girl that I knew, and she said, yes, 90% of my followers are men.
Yes.
I said, so when you advertise earrings,
it doesn't work.
You don't convert anything.
It doesn't work. The only way people like that make money is from the odd fast fashion.
Hold on, but should she be advertising then, I don't know, male-related stuff, pickup trucks?
Well, yeah, you could say that, but then those brands wouldn't work with her anyway because they know that the audience aren't following that person to get advice about pickup trucks, right? They're following them because they think they look good. Yeah. Whereas, on the female side, so we've got a really good female division now, where a couple of ladies in my office run. And the first thing we look for a female creator is what % female audience do they have. Typically, we say minimum 70% female audience of a good age bracket, and you can get all of these data and all of these stats now. We've got software that I can pull all the insights of someone without even asking them. And if it's a girl with, let's say they've got 100,000 followers, 70% UK, 18 to 24-year-old girls, that's highly valuable. That's someone that's going to get regular brand work because what they're posting, particularly on the female side, will actually sell and convert for them. We've got one talent in the UK who we started working with this year, and she does tons and tons of business with us. Her audience really like her. She does all this girl talk, girl chat.
Name these people so we know who they are. What's their social
so Amara, her name's Amara Reva. So we started working with her this year. She's got about 380, I think, if I'm right, 380,000 followers on Instagram, 750,000 followers on TikTok. Which is good. It's not huge, but it's good. It puts you into that macro level. But we've got case studies now from brands that have worked with her. She posts a new dress on her story, even just a story post. That dress will sell out in like that day. So it genuinely converts for the brand. And because of that, they keep coming back for more and more and more. Our job as a management, yes, is to get as much money as possible, but also to keep her audience trust with her. So that means saying no to a lot of deals. If it's a brand that really doesn't align with her aesthetic, which is quite like luxury, high end, not too fast fashion, that type of thing, then we would say no to it. Because if you think about an influencer, just a good example I use to people, if you're a creator up and coming, every time you post an organic post, let's imagine like this is your post. This is your audience trust and how much they like you and will actually watch your stuff and think you're reliable. And this is your number of posts. Every time you post and it's an organic post and it's good and it's providing value, it goes up and up and up. Every time you do an advert, it drops slightly like this. If you do another advert, it drops again. If you do another one, it drops again. If Amara, for example, went and did an advert for something that didn't make any sense, like say she went and did an advert for a FX or
pickup trucks.
Yeah, pickup trucks or a cryptocurrency coin or one of these things that just people can tell that they're being sold to and almost being lied to. That would send her trust down here, which completely kills her brand. And yeah, it might be a quick cash grab, but they might pay her £10,000 to post something. But our job as the agent, and normally the creators know this as well, is to say, no, that's not going to be good. Yeah, you might get 10K now, but that's going to drop your income in the next 12 months down drastically more than that, because you've just gone from there on the graph of trust all the way down to there. So it's about sliding in integrated branded content with things that make sense for the right amount of money that aren't going to annoy your audience too much. If anything, they're actually going to like it because they might be following you for these fashion and beauty tips, and keep your trust going up so that your follower keeps going up, your engagement keeps going up, and yeah, brands are going to work with you long term.
So can I be talent if I'm an unattractive woman with an audience of 5,000 that focuses on teaching people about knitting?
We probably wouldn't work with someone like that. Just not because I don't respect it. It's a good focused niche. Would they make much money at that kind of level? 5,000, probably not. if they've got an audience of 5,000 followers that are in this really focused knitting community, which I'm sure there is at some point, they'll start to get like gifted things from knitting companies, for example. Are they going to start getting the brand deals that are going to be interested and require a manager to handle the negotiations and the contracts? Probably not. But if that person went and built themselves up and had 100,000 followers in a really specific niche, then yeah, sure. I'm trying to think of any other examples. You know, we've worked with people that another guy we've got in the UK. He's called It's Sandwich King. So his name's Chris in Manchester. His content is only sandwiches. Look him up after this if you get a chance.
It's Sandwich King.
Yeah. So he purely does content on sandwiches. That's every piece of content is a new sandwich. And he's one of our like top 5, top 6 revenue in the UK, because it doesn't mean he's just working with bread and meat, but we integrate tons of brands with him. So in the last few months, we've worked with Hellman's, the mayonnaise. We've worked with I'm trying to think off the top of my head, peanut butter, all these types of companies. This week, coming up next week, he's working with the NBA in the UK. NBA, the basketball, are going there, and the brief is he's going there and creating a sandwich for the whole team, and it's going to be a really creative piece of content. They're going to try his sandwich, something along those lines. I saw an email about it earlier, but yeah, someone like that, they've turned the niche into, you know, engaging content. He gets his character across, and yeah, they can make money as well. And there's tons of different niches, but you generally have to have sort of one or two. It just has to kind of make sense.
Stephen Bartlett talks about being on the crest of a social wave.
Yeah.
But when you see when TikTok was launched, what we saw was Charli D'Amelio and people like that organically exploded because of the dances and whatever it is they were doing.
Yeah.
Is it still possible in today's day and age to go viral, to become build an organic audience without spending money?
Certainly is. I'd say it's not as easy as when TikTok first started or was first like up and coming. Someone like Charli D'Amelio, Addison Rae, Jake Paul, Bryce Hall, these types of big US creators, they definitely got in at the right time. Like, it would be a lot harder to replicate exactly what they did now, because back then, it was people were embarrassed to make videos, people were embarrassed to make content. Now, like, people don't laugh at you if you make a TikTok. It's now like quite cool. It's like people like it, so there's definitely more people doing it, which makes it tougher. But yeah, sure, it's certainly there's new up and coming creators every single day, and it could be that they go viral for one random event. A prime example would be Mr. IB for Final Boss a few weeks ago. Someone recorded him in Ocean Beach or something like that, and it was purely based on the way he looked. And I think that was viewed upwards of 1 billion times in that period of time. He's now got a management. I know who those guys are. And time will tell if he can monetize it over a period of time. But I know for a fact now he's got, I think, 20 appearances in the UK over the next couple of weeks. He'll probably turn into like a DJ or something. So yeah, that was like completely out of the blue. And it's possible, or you could just start making videos and it might work. It really depends on if people like you, is the thing.
So you take Final Boss, he looked a little bit weird when I saw him in that video, and he went on to get a lot of attention from young people.
Yeah.
Guy from Newcastle or somewhere like that, works as a labourer, and he had a weird haircut and people liked it.
It is very strange. That's
got to be unusual. That's not your norm, surely.
No, it's not. But I mean, there's other examples of it. It's like the Hawk Tour girl a few years ago, if you remember her.
Yeah.
That was just ridiculous. Like she said something on a night out. But the way the internet works now, and the way Gen Z and Gen Alpha work, they just cling onto this stuff and they absolutely love it. And if it can hit that trend on TikTok, the day after that IB for Final Boss thing, probably 90% of people on their phone saw it. Like globally, not completely globally, but in that sort of realm, or certainly the Western world anyway, would have just clung onto it and found it funny and been sent it around, and it can just spread like wildfire. Before you know it, you're an overnight sensation, basically.
Do you think you understand content creation? Do you think you can make sense of it?
Yeah, that's what we do.
Okay, so the content creation, not the management of people, but the content creation.
Okay, yeah.
I look at someone. I tell you what, there's two examples that I've got that would be for social media.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's the most successful? What's the most successful comedy show in history?
Office, maybe? No.
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean, yeah.
Why?
because he didn't speak.
That's right, he didn't speak. And then if you remember getting on the plane years ago, you didn't have a television behind the headrest. You would have one up in the air on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And you'd get on a lot of these flights and they'd have something called Just for Laughs.
Yeah.
Which is a French-Canadian show where it's basically sketches where they do stuff without speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And very, very popular around the world. Mr. Bean, huge, because every country in the world, whether you lived in China or whether you lived in Indonesia or you lived in Argentina, everyone knows Mr. Bean.
Yeah, they can all understand.
When you then convert that across and step into social media and look at the different channels, do people have a distinct advantage when they don't speak? Because we saw Mr. Beast recently running and he carried money.
Mm-hmm.
And the money got heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier as he was running. And if you saw that.
Yeah, I think I've seen.
Okay, and it exploded. And then I saw everyone else doing it as well. Pretty much the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wonder if you are talent or you are a content creator and your content can be shown to a Brazilian, an Argentinian, a Japanese, an Indonesian, an Indian or a Brit.
Yeah.
And it has the same meaning to everyone.
I think the prime example of that, and I agree, would be Kaby Lame. You know.
Oh, okay, the black guy from Italy.
That's right. Yeah.
Because he used to do this
Exactly.
thing. Yeah, didn't speak.
Kind of like Mr. Bean, doesn't speak at all. Purely comedy. Anyone can understand it, whatever language you speak. Yeah, wherever you're from, whatever age you are, it's entertaining. And yeah, I think he's slowed down now for sure, but he was the most followed person on TikTok in the world at some point, probably because of that. Having said that, was he the one earning the most money? Certainly not. He definitely landed some big brand endorsement deals. I think he worked with Hugo Boss and a few others. However, if you compare him to someone like a Jake Paul or Logan Paul or Mr. Beast, for example, they would have been earning drastically more money than him. Because even though Kaby is funny, because he hasn't spoken, has he built that much trust with his audience that they are actually influenced by what he says or does, or do they just watch him and follow him because it's funny?
Oh, well, that's there you go. That's something that's really interesting to consider. So
Yeah.
I think he was in the region of 100 and something million followers on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I saw the Hugo Boss deal as well and him at various events.
Yeah.
But it's almost like when he speaks, it ruins the magic.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And so does he have trust? Maybe he doesn't. He's just funny.
Exactly.
So what can you tie to it? You can't tie a crypto brand. You can't tie a car brand. I suppose. Yeah.
And him the other way creators make money, if we go quickly on to that, would be, so brand deals is sort of the core for most of them, right? And I spoke about this the other day at Creators HQ, the UAE media office that they're trying to make UAE the hub of creators globally, and we can touch on that in a little bit. But I did a presentation there the other day talking about how can creators actually make money. Number one is brand deals, generally the core for a lot of them. Two is platforms own funds, creator funds. So if you post on TikTok and you're monetized, which is in most countries now, and you have to have over 10,000 followers and a few other criteria, but you get paid per view on TikToks. It's not a huge amount of money. It's something like, depending on the CPM or the RPM at the time, 1 million views might get you a couple of $100, right? But some people live off that. YouTube is the same. YouTube's slightly higher. You get paid a little bit more per view on there. So if you're a YouTuber getting 1 million views a video, then you don't have to worry so much about brand deals, right? Because you're actually earning a good income off that. You're talking like 10,000 plus a month on just views alone. That's the second way to make money. Brand deals, creator funds, and creator incentives to post on there, and then they integrate their own adverts into it as you swipe. Third way is own brands and products, and only certain creators can do that and build their own brand and product and it work. We're working on about 4 of them at the minute with our talent and with some talent that we don't even manage. It's just part of the business that we're trying to build at the moment, which is building creator-led brands. But we're very cautious on it because I've seen so many of them fail, because there's creators that are earning good money from brand deals, good money from views, but they go and launch an actual product and it flops. On the flip side, there's some huge case studies where it has worked. Again, if we use those examples, Mr. Beast, Feastables, Logan Paul, KSI Prime, Sidemen in the UK, who have now got an empire of about 8 different brands. They've got a chicken shop, they've got a vodka, they've got a cereal, they've got all sorts of different things. That's an example of when it's done right. But there's also plenty of examples of when people have spent a shed load of money and it's gone wrong. again, go back to the big ones. Even if you look at someone like Hailey Bieber, technically I would say a creator and influencer. Obviously she, has a link to being Justin Bieber's partner as well, but now successful in her own right, has her own brand and huge following. I think she just sold Rode for $1 billion. Same with even look at the Kardashians, Kylie Jenner, billionaire off her product that was basically born from being a creator and a celebrity. Kim Kardashian, Skims, same story. So that's where we're trying to move into, is helping creators launch their own brands, because that's where you can make the big money, right? Otherwise, brand deals, you're just chasing the next one, chasing the next one, chasing the next one, chasing the next retainer, but you can't. They're not going to be doing brand deals when they're 50 years old, right?
That's interesting that you say that. So we'll do a bit of a case study here. Maybe you can bring some value. So I've obviously got this podcast. Okay. I have an audience on the podcast. I have audience across my socials. And the podcast has 2 brands that sponsor the podcast. One is one of my companies. And the other one is a property developer called AYS. Now, interestingly, AYS came to me, the person at AYS came to me after following me for 8 years. And never liking or commenting on anything ever. And then out of the blue, she messaged me on LinkedIn and said, "Can we have a coffee?" So, and she said, "I followed you for years. I never liked, never commented on anything." She goes, "But your content really influenced me over the years."
Good.
Can we have? So that was great. So they're a sponsor. But at the end of the day, I'm not a real estate guy. So.
What, and they wanted you to put your name to a development? Or?
So I have to, as part of the deal, I have to obviously talk about them on the podcast, and they have their opportunity and this co-branding that takes place, and I have to make content for them every month. And by the way, they're a great company and it's really good product. I love them. I think they're such a good bunch of people, and what they do is really smart. But when you think about the association to the brand as opposed to your own brand or your own business, if you said to me, go and make content about Benepool or my wealth management company, go and do that, well, I can do that, no problem at all. It's my business, I own it.
Correct.
Now, the business isn't going to write me a check, okay, because I get paid, obviously, in other ways. How does someone like me, with 360 episodes in, we've been around forever, with the longest running podcast here, the best known English speaking podcast here. We have had incredible guests on the show over the years. We've got a really loyal audience of people that engage. So how would you take someone like me and say, right, this is what you have to do?
In terms of building your own product?
So
the answer is, it's not always the best thing to do for everyone. It has to make sense. Like if you said, right, I'm starting my own men's clothing line tomorrow, probably wouldn't make sense.
What are you trying to say?
You dress great, but you don't talk about fashion, right? Specifically, you talk about business.
Do you want a shovel?
You know what I mean? Okay, let's do it the way. Let's say you wanted to launch a dress company. You don't wear dresses, right? I don't think.
How do you know?
You never know.
But we're clear, I don't wear dresses.
If it doesn't make sense, then it's not always the best idea. The thing you could do, you could start something that's business related, right? Or about Dubai. So it could be, I don't know, there could be a girl in the UK called Grace Beverly. She's a big creator, big influencer, launched her own brands. Another example of someone that's been successful with a creator-led brand, launched Tala, which is an activewear brand. I don't know the exact numbers, but worth several $1 million now, pounds. She talked a lot about business as a creator. This is onto another sort of subject as well. She now falls into this category of what they call foundfluencers, which is foundfluencers. That is a thing, and it's founders that become creators and talk about their product, which everyone's trying to do now. CEOs, founders, a few years ago, you were a bit ahead of the curve on this. I remember seeing your stuff back 5-6 years ago, where it was almost a bit like weird to post content. Why are they doing that? Why are they posting videos? Now, every founder or CEO, no matter how much money they've got, wants to have a big personal brand, build a following on LinkedIn, post short form content, post short form reels, post long form content to build a personal brand, to get status, to become a key person of influence in whatever they're trying to do. So foundfluencers are great. A lot of people are doing it. Grace is an example of that. Back to what you were saying about what you could do for as a businessy type creator. She launched and I don't know Grace personally, by the way, I've just followed her journey. launched a thing called the productivity method, I believe it is. And as far as I understand, it's a digital planner or a physical planner, essentially like a diary, but it's a really well laid out, like, to-do list for the day, what I'm grateful for today, all this kind of stuff, like things I need to action first thing this morning. Basically a really well put together book for business people that want to start a business owners. And again, I just saw this on Instagram. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think she sold a significant amount of that quite quickly. It was selling out constantly because she's made a lot of good content around it, and it made sense because people for years had followed her journey on how she'd grown Tala, which is an activewear brand, from zero to, multi-million dollars in revenue. So that's where it can make sense. It's just when people try and launch, I've seen big creators and celebrities all of a sudden, right, I'm launching my own. So it's quite often alcohol is one. I've got my own vodka, I've got my own whiskey, I've got my own tequila. A lot of them fail overnight. The ones that make it do really, really well and boom, but a lot of them you don't see after 2 years. So it's, and I think it's also how businessy the creator actually is as well.
So coming back to me, if I wear suits to work, so if I brought a tie brand out, would that be
that's something that would probably make sense, yeah.
Or a cufflink brand?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would, okay.
That's something that makes sense. Or
a course teaching people something.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Whether that was an e-course or even a mastermind for you would be a good example. It's not a physical product, but someone like Mike Thurston does this, who we work with, Mike. They pay $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, whatever price point you want to put it as, and they come and spend the week with you. And these, I've not been on one yet, but I know a lot of people that have been on, people like Mike's, Iman Gadzhi's, these kind of people. They do these masterminds. They rent a crazy villa in Dubai or Bali or Ibiza for a week. People pay quite a significant amount of money to spend the week with them. And basically, it's like, them being the mentor for the week. They'll do a session on personal brand, they'll do a session on content, they'll do a day of fitness, they'll do a yacht event, they'll do a networking event. And a lot of creators have been very successful with this now. Mike's a good example. He's done several of them, and people go away and they love it. It's the best experience of their life, because it's not, rather than going and paying for a holiday for a week in wherever it might be, that might cost you the same amount of money. They've gone away and they've spent a week with someone that they aspire to be like, and actually left with a lot of value, new business connections, new ideas, and probably been quite a good investment for them. So that's another example of a non-physical product that someone of influence can sell, I guess.
Okay, folks, let's talk about real estate. Now, a recent partnership that we've just established on the podcast is with AYS Developers. Luxury properties with high-end finishes from people that really understand the subject. Often in Dubai, you'll find stuff that is maybe substandard. With AYS Developers, you're not going to see that. You're going to see fantastic properties that you can buy, you can invest in, you can make a home on Dubai Islands and other places too. So go visit aysdevelopers.ae and check them out. I promise you it'll be worth the trip. Interesting. So you've got to always try and find something that is in line with how you represent yourself online. Let's take someone that's starting from zero.
Yeah.
Okay. They're starting from zero. They've seen what you do. They've seen your clients online, and they're like, yeah, that's what I want my future to be. I mean, often you hear kids going, I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up, or whatever it may be. Yeah. That was something we would laugh at 10 years ago. And now parents are saying, well, maybe it's better than being a plumber.
Yeah.
But let's say it was somebody starting from ground zero. They're 25 years old, and it's like, right, what do I need to do? Tell me the steps I need to follow. Where would I literally, if you go right to the beginning, give me those footsteps?
Yeah. So what you said, I think it's now. It used to be when people used to ask kids what they want to be when they grow up. I think 20 years ago it was astronaut, vet, police officer, something like that, right? Now, the stat is something like 70% say YouTuber. They wouldn't say the word influencer generally, but a young kid, they say, I want to be a YouTuber, because that's what they're watching all day, and they look up to these people and they love them. So yeah, it's very, very common. A lot of people want to do it. If I was to start today from day one, I'd pick a niche, first of all. TikTok is a little bit different, actually. You can kind of be a bit all over the place on TikTok and get away with it. If you're a very likable person, you can post about just general life.
Okay, do we have to start off with whether we're likable?
If you want to make a living out of it,
So
generally.
I'm going to keep pulling you back
Yeah,
because I
okay.
want people to come away from this
Yeah.
and go, Danny says these are the steps.
Okay.
All right. And so every time it goes too fast or too far, I'm going to pull you back. So I don't want anyone to miss this because it's so valuable
Yeah.
for those that want to go down this path.
Yeah.
So is number one, work out if you are likable, or you're only going to let the audience decide that anyway?
Yeah, that's something that you can't decide yourself.
Okay,
right?
so we can't decide likable. So is the first step niche?
Yeah, and so pick some form of niche. It doesn't have to. You don't need to say I'm going to make content about only sandwiches, for example. But if you want to be a food creator, let's focus on food. For the most part, it doesn't need to be 100%. For the most part, if you want to be fashion, beauty, focus on fashion, beauty. Sport, pick sport. Fitness, pick fitness. Parenting, cleaning even is a big niche now. People clean. Finance, influencers are massive.
What?
They've got all these sub names.
So there's niches for people that clean.
Yeah, have you heard of Mrs. Hinch? I bet your wife or parents might have, or any woman in your family might have. She's huge in the UK. I can't remember, maybe 5-6 million followers, something like that.
What does she do?
Cleans, majority.
What do you mean
That's
she
how she started.
cleans? She makes videos of her cleaning.
Yeah, hacks to clean your sink, your kitchen, your cutlery, all of this kind of thing, but super engaging. People are like infatuated by watching it, and built up a huge audience and monetized that massively.
Okay, so that's step number one.
So pick some form of niche.
And then what?
The simplest answer is start making videos every single day. That's the way to do it. Your quality is going to get better over the time. This is coming from me. I don't make content personally, but that's just what I choose to do. But if I wanted to start tomorrow, this is exactly what I would do. Make videos every single day. The first 50 might be terrible. You might get no views. You might get 0 views. Make it every single day. It's going to get better. It's eventually going to hit a good algorithm in terms of like the look and go. One of them's going to go viral. That's how easy it is these days in terms of, you know, when the only platform you could post in the past was YouTube, and Instagram Reels weren't even a thing. It's much harder to like go viral. Whereas now we could post a TikTok here right now and it could almost randomly go viral if we said something funny or had some kind of hook and it was short enough. So keeping at it, keep consistent. That's the very basic step. Once you then started building up some kind of audience and you're like, right, I want to make a living out of this, I want to take it more seriously. Collaborating with other creators is one of the best things that anyone can do. I'm massive on it. I organize several of these a week, just getting people on our roster or on people that I know to meet up with each other and make videos together. Again, generally it has to make some form of sense. Say it's one fitness guy, link them up with another fitness guy. They come together, they make fresh content together. They're getting good content. They're cross-pollinating audiences because they're doing collab posts on Instagram, on TikTok. They're being shown to people that wouldn't have seen them before, and generally it's good stuff. If you look at some of the biggest creators,
that's a really important step there. So find other collaborators. Now, when it comes to collaboration,
yeah,
let's say you've got 2 million followers and I've got 2 followers. Are you going to want to collaborate with me?
No.
So have I got to find other people with 2 followers?
You have to give them something with value, yeah. And this is why I say this step, collaborating with other creators, is when you're a little bit further along. First step is start making videos and start posting them every single day.
Got how long? 12 months? 3 months?
You could pop off in a month if you're good and if you're lucky. It could take years. Mr. Beast is another example of someone that most people would know. I think he posted 150 videos before he hit like 100 subscribers or something like that. There's a video about it online, but he was posting every single day and not giving up until he just trusted the process. And if you watch Mr. Beast talk about content on YouTube, I watched one that he said the other day. He said if he started a new YouTube account tomorrow and no one knew who he was and it was completely faceless, he could hit 1 million subscribers in like 6 months or something because he just knows the system inside out. He's just a genius with it. And that is the core to it that he will say is posting every single day and making it interesting. Then you get into a lot more granular detail, like what does the thumbnail look like? What's the specific
Sure.
title, all of that. But yeah, that would be, firstly, you just keep going, keep posting. And also the answer is it might not work, right? You might not ever go viral, and that can't be that can't be helped, but at least you've given it a go. There is people that have been trying for years. I'm not saying this is a proven formula. You do this, yeah, but you're not viral, but you've got a brand. But there's people that that you're just never going to work for them because they're not interesting enough. But yeah, that's the first step. You just start, just do it, keep posting. Then once you're at a certain level, start trying to collaborate with other creators. You have to be on generally a level similar or not too far below them. Because for example, I'm not gonna, if I'm making fitness content for 3 weeks and I say to Mike Thurston, can we do a gym video together? He's gonna know what am I getting out of it. You're gonna get loads of clout. You're going to be seeing this as training and making videos.
So you've got to find a situation that's a win-win.
Yeah, there's got to be some value on both sides, whether you're their account's on a downward spiral and they need a bit of a spike and you're up and coming, or you're going to take them somewhere really cool. It has to kind of make sense. And that's part of our job as management. If we're working for someone, we actively organize them. We say like, oh, you can come on here, you can promote your new, whatever you've got going on, whether it's your new product or your new TV show or whatever it is you're going on next. So you've got to find some kind of value to give them. After that, it's just staying consistent, keeping it fresh. And what I mean by that is not the same old content all the time. It has to evolve. It has to keep with the times.
Where do people get help with creativity? Because
these days, ChatGPT.
Really?
Yeah, we can talk about AI more as well, but it's made creators' jobs, I would say, a lot easier in recent years. I can now, if I'm a food creator, 2 years ago when ChatGPT was not really a thing or kind of just getting going, I think it was about then. I'd have to sit down on a Monday and be like, right, I need to film 4 reels this week. I need to film 5 TikToks. I need to, get my content ready. We used to get on the phone with people and help them plan their content. And it would be like, you have to be a really creative mind, plan it out, think of a hook. As I'm sure most short form videos, they need to have a hook in the first couple of seconds generally. They have to think of the hook. They have to think of the title. They have to think of the topic. They have to think of some kind of call to action at the end if they're trying to sell something. Now you can go on ChatGPT. I am a food creator. This is my handle. Tell it a little bit about yourself. Write me 12 content ideas that I can do this week. And it feels like cheating. And I'm not saying that like everyone should and does do this, but a lot of people certainly are doing it. And it spits out some really good stuff. It's brilliant.
Whoa. How the hell is that cheating?
Well, yeah, it's not. I think I've heard people say it takes away the creativity, it takes away the authenticity. But, to an extent, maybe that's true, as long as they put their own spin on it. But
well, then who's the judge of that? The judge of that is the content that's been created and the audience that judge it.
True, yeah.
That anybody involved in the process along the way that wants to judge that can mind their own business.
Yeah, true. And no one would know that it's AI.
Right.
A lot of the content that you're watching now on socials, they've probably got their scripting and creativity and ideation from AI, a good chunk of it.
Okay, let's talk about AI in a second. Mo Vlogs was on the show the other day.
Yeah, I know Mo.
And I said to Mo, how'd you get to 30 million followers?
Yeah.
And he just looked, he sat exactly in your seat and he went, do the work. He said, everyone wants to know how to get there.
Yeah.
Do the work.
Yeah.
He said, you look at my first videos in Enfield in North London, I'm in the car, I'm talking about demisting the bloody car screen.
Yeah.
I'm talking about going to the pet shop to get pet food.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's how bad I was.
Yeah.
He said, but I loved the process.
Yeah.
And I was one of the few people that for 10 years made a video every single day.
Yeah.
He said, did I get it wrong? Yeah. Did I make mistakes? Yeah. Did I know what I was doing? No. But I kept going. And most people don't keep going. They give up. They always give up. And then they blame the system or the algorithm for the reason they haven't achieved what they need to achieve.
Yeah.
There have been many, many days along the way that I have wanted to give up.
Yeah.
There's been many times, when I've got a guest coming into the chair and I'm sat with Alex and I'm like, oh, do I really need to do this today? Is this really going anywhere?
Yeah.
And you think about the 7 years, the hours and hours. I mean, there must be 1,000 hours at least worth of content that's been made from those 360 interviews. The money that's been spent as well along the way. The meeting, this is another thing that people need to be aware of. The meeting the people that think they know what they're doing, but they don't. Because there's a lot of people out there who will say, run ads, don't run ads, do this, do that. And 9 times out of 10, they're no experts themselves. I always get very hesitant when I see someone on Instagram approach me about blowing up my profile and stuff, when they've got 12 followers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, who the hell are you to give me advice? You know, the best place you could come from is by being somebody that does it, so I can learn from you and your experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
You're right on Mo, by the way. I know Mo personally, and he's a workhorse. Like I actually spoke to him earlier today, funnily enough, about a piece of work that I'm trying to get him involved in, and it's him dealing with it himself. He's got an internal management team as well, but like you speak to him any day, he's planning a video, he's filming a video, he's doing something crazy. He's not sat there doing nothing. He's always thinking content. He's got a guy that basically lives with him that films like everything they do, and he's been doing that for 10 years plus. So
don't get any ideas. You're not coming and live with me. Right, so on Alex again.
But yeah, that's Mo's a hard worker, and all the top creators are. If you look at anyone like the you know, we use the big examples again, the Mr. Beast, the Jake Pauls and stuff. They're hard workers. It's not an easy job because you have to constantly be thinking. Yeah, it's not worries me. It's not going down the mines and you know, bleeding now and working like that like a labourer, but it is genuinely hard, and it's peaks and troughs, and they have to keep at it. Otherwise, you get left behind and you can fail.
So let's talk about AI influencers. I've seen loads of them coming out on social media in recent time. These influencers that have got a big audience and they're doing brand deals and stuff like that. And I'm like, is that going to take over? Is that going to replace influencers? Is that going to replace these people? And is it going to be a risk to your business if they do so?
Good question, and it's something that's really topical at the moment. I was in at Cannes Lions a few months ago, which is the biggest like festival of creativity and marketing in the world. And the only thing anyone was talking about there was AI in all respects of the marketing field. AI influencers came up quite a lot. We've never personally dealt with one yet. It's something that we're learning more about every day. There's a couple of case studies at the moment, if you like, of successful ones. There's one in the US. I got some notes here. I actually wrote this down before because I can't pronounce the names fully. Little Michaela, who I have come across before. I remember seeing their big creator. I think it's got 2.5 million followers. It's a completely synthetic, fabricated. It's not a real person. It's fully AI generated.
Like anime.
Yeah, but it looks like a real person. It's not a not a cartoon. Not a cartoon. It's a real person. Look, like how you can make, you know, AI video deep fakes of anyone now, but this is like they've built this persona. They've built this perfect lifestyle. I think it's an LA based person. And yeah, built up a big following. They're popping up here and there. It's very, very early days. My personal opinion is no, they're not going to take over the market at all. Real creators, real influencers are still going to dominate for the foreseeable future, for a very long period of time, at least until, you know, in this modern era, at least. How it's working now, brands have started working with, so that Little Michaela, for example.
Hold on a minute. As you said that, you made me think really weird thoughts. Do you know what you made me think of?
What?
Blockbuster Video and Netflix. You made me think about BlackBerry and the touchscreen and stuff like that. It was like, you don't think it's like
maybe
when you go to these events, there are a lot of people saying they will, though.
I suppose, yeah. It's like you said, it could be. Maybe I'll eat my words. But I just don't think people are going to buy and have trust in someone that doesn't exist.
So this AI, but hold on a minute. Is the idea not that they get to a point where they look so real that you don't know the difference?
Well, this is where regulation comes in. It has to be labeled now as AI generated.
Everywhere in the world?
I believe so. Certainly on Instagram, you have to flag that it's AI generated. On most platforms, I believe it is, which is a good thing, I think, because same with you mentioned OnlyFans at the very start. There's now huge OnlyFans creators which are doing nude content that don't exist. It's completely AI generated, and they're earning millions and millions of dollars. I know someone doing this, but then it goes around to like, how legal is that? It's complete deception, right? Or fraud, always, unless it's clearly labeled.
God, so I've got mixed feelings towards that. One was a negative, but the other one was quite positive. It was like, if women don't actually have to do that, because a lot of them are forced into this, they're not choosing it. If women don't actually have to do that, and there is an AI generated avatar that can satisfy the needs of the dirty old man, or the dirty young man,
Yeah.
I'm neither right now. So
So which one?
I'm not dirty.
No.
But satisfy the needs, then arguably there's a positive to that.
Yeah.
But do those people know whether they're real or not?
Well, this is on platforms like that. It's a very grey area. Now,
why do I see with your experience? It's like, for me, it's like, why are you saying you don't think it will catch on? To me, it seems just to be getting more and more and more every day.
Well, it is, because it's a very hot topic, and I think the brands that are working with these creators at the minute, like that lady that I mentioned, Little Michaela. I say lady, it doesn't exist. That creator that I mentioned, Little Michaela, that's probably made in some clever IT company in San Francisco. They've worked with, I think, Coca-Cola, Samsung, these types of brands. But I believe the reason why those brands are working with them currently, I think there was another one at Wimbledon that worked with Ralph Lauren, and it's a blonde creator that doesn't exist, that had several 100,000 followers. The reason I think that they're working with them now, not because of the organic reach and conversion that page as an influencer is going to generate them, as if they work with any other influencer, but it's because that brand working with an AI influencer like them in this current time when AI is so topical is going to generate press and media and free media in itself. That's why they're doing it. It makes them look like a forward-thinking, clever, futuristic brand. It's like, oh, wow, they're so forward-thinking. They're working with an AI influencer. That gets loads of press, loads of media attention, which it did. I think the one with, I think it might have been Ralph Lauren with a creator in at Wimbledon that wasn't actually there, didn't exist. That went viral on LinkedIn and everything else. The amount of media value that they got from that collaboration, even if they actually only paid the creator of the account, I don't know, $10,000, they probably had millions of dollars worth of free media from it. So a lot of brands are jumping on that bandwagon now. But as it becomes more normal, I believe that will people actually buy from an AI account? Probably not. That's my thought. I think another avenue to this is live shopping. That's something that I think could take off more, which is TikTok lives.
Okay, but that's not AI. But just
No, but I mean, you could
explain to everybody what TikTok shopping is.
Yes,
my mum's watching this right now.
Yeah.
Okay, she's sitting there going, "Well, he's a nice young man, that Danny, isn't he?" Okay, but what's he going on about? So just explain that TikTok shopping.
Yeah, no, good question, because it is very new and a lot of people don't know about it. Yeah, I'm still it's something that we're learning about a lot at the moment because it's just getting so popular. TikTok shop there's a couple of ways you can do it. One is from lives, which is what I was talking about. You could have a live AI avatar selling products on live. Think QVC or Shopping Channel, exactly the same as that, which took off many years ago. It still is a thing, but not as popular anymore. But where you can tune in live and it's someone sat there at a desk or in a studio selling, a new iron,
exercise machine,
all of that
cheap jewelry,
all of that kind of shit. That's what they're doing on there. And it's not always terrible stuff, but it's it's fast products, impulse purchases, things that have some kind of virality or someone makes that looks cool, something they can showcase. That's what one thing people are doing on TikTok shop, and it's been very successful. There's a Chinese page where the lady shows an item for, I think it's like half a second, pulls up a dress, puts it down, puts it down, and every time they bring some up, you can live purchase that product that's just shown on screen immediately.
How?
They link it to the live. It comes up on
in the feed.
Yeah, in a
so
feed.
You just press the button in the feed and
go buy. Your credit card's linked, your shipping address is linked. You can watch it, see it on TikTok shop live, press purchase, and can be at your door in 2 days. It's like the brand new version of QVC or the Shopping Channel. That's one way people are using TikTok shop, and it's blowing up at the minute. Really, really big in Asia, huge in Asia, getting a lot bigger in everywhere else in the world, particularly the UK and US as well. Second aspect of TikTok shop is linking a product to a normal piece of content, almost like a brand. And brands are starting to do this as well with creators as part of their deliverables. And sorry to use jargon, but if their deliverable for a contract is one TikTok video, so okay, Spencer, I'm going to send you this new tie. It's a new tie brand, and we're going to pay you $1,000, and we need you to make one TikTok video, and the brief of the content is you need to say about why this is such a good tie, where it's made, and how it's the best tie I've ever had. Right? You have to label that as ad legally as well in most places. That's a typical brand deal, right? That's what we do. We do $500,000 of those a month now, 500,000 to 1 million at the moment in just volume of them. Now,
$500,000 to $1 million a month just in that.
In brand deals, yeah. That's what we're doing at the moment. That's not what we make. Our fees are separate to that. Well, they're part of that, 10 to 20%. But yeah, that's how the market works. Now, that's a typical brand deal, what I just talked about. What they're starting to throw in now, clever brands and more forward-thinking brands, is they're also asking you to link the product to your TikTok shop. So typically, then in the original example, if you like, if they then wanted to go and buy it, they'd have to go onto newniceties.com that you've just tagged, purchase it, go through the whole thing, go through the website, and they're probably going to lose a lot of people in that process that just can't be bothered.
Friction.
They'll thought it looks cool, but they might have seen it, and it might take them 10 extra times of seeing it in any form of marketing before they actually go and pull the trigger and make the purchase. Whereas what TikTok Shop is doing now, you could post that TikTok that I've just paid you for, live link the product on TikTok, so it would say buy now. And people can watch your video, go, that looks cool, buy now, your credit card's linked, your delivery address is linked, and it arrives at your house in 2 days, 3 days. So that's what they're doing it a lot for now. And creators can earn money from this because, one, it could be part of a normal brand deal, or from small macro or nano creators, or nano creators that we call them, people with the 5,000-6,000 followers, whatever it might be. They can use TikTok Shop, and they'll pretty much let anyone sign up to it on a commission or affiliate basis. So they're not paying them anything, but anytime anyone purchases anything using their link, they get paid a commission, usually between like 5 and 17%. Some of them are. Same thing's happening on Amazon. You can use Amazon affiliate links now on Instagram stories. You can set up an Amazon affiliate account, and say you're a girl posting a new dress that you've just bought on Amazon. You put live link here. It's a unique tracking link. Anytime someone purchases it using your link, your account gets credited with commission. So that's another way that they're making money, and that can be either through Amazon and TikTok Shop are the big like affiliate link type things.
Wow.
But that's getting, I think, if AI influencers, just to come back on that, I think it's going to be a bit of a fad personally right now. I think AI for the whole space is going to just become more and more involved, and it's going to
I think every industry.
Exactly. Yeah, every industry right now is exactly the same. But I think it's going to personally make our jobs easier. It's not going to take away the human element. It's just going to be a tool to be efficient and scale quicker. That's for talent management and influencer marketing. However, AI influence, I think, is a bit of a trend. Maybe I'll eat my words. I think it's going to fade out. I don't think people are going to trust, or they're not going to like it.
You heard
with a fake person.
You heard it here.
You heard it.
Oh, there you go. Pete Stain.
Show me this in 10 years' time.
Okay, so much information here is giving me a bit of an information overload.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited, but I'm nervous at the same time as well. Most people won't know this, but you come from my industry.
I do.
The industry that I started at many years ago. You started at too, in financial services.
That's right.
How long have you been in Dubai?
So 10 years is the answer I give everyone. It's been in and out. I was moved to Abu Dhabi in 2015. So just over 10 years ago now, when I was 18 years old, on my own, working in financial services as a BDM coordinator, they used to call it back then, which was my job was
junior, learning the industry.
Just prospecting all day long, finding leads and working for financial advisors to fill their diary with wealthy people that want to invest money. That was my job in a nutshell.
So you moved on from that and you got into this. So how did you get into this? What was it that was interesting for you? And did you go and work for a company first, or did you just say, I'm going to do this myself?
Yeah, so it is interesting actually, because it was a completely different industry. Most people in this creator economy, they did it at uni, they worked for an agency, they eventually went and set up on their own, they did it that way. I was a financial advisor. After I was a BDM for 5 years, I then did my exams, got qualified. I got qualified in the US. So I got an exam called the Series 65. You probably know about that exam. I'm told I was the youngest British person to ever get it. I think I was 21 or 22 when I got the Series 65. Moved to Miami. I meant to move there forever. So I got the full 10 or 15 year E2 working investor visa, which was an absolute nightmare to get. I think it cost the company a fortune to get as well. So they weren't very happy when I left after 9 months. But moved over to the US, was like, right, I'm going to set up over here. become a big financial advisor, manage loads of money for people, and do that for the next 50 years and retire wealthy, and that's going to be my life. 8 months into Miami, I tried to set up a division of the company that I was working for, who you know well as well, to manage money for young people. Because I was only, at that point, I think I was 23, 24, because I've been there a little while, 23, I think. At that point, I was like, right, all of my clients were 50 to 70-year-old men, typically men and women. But I didn't resonate with them at all. I still was doing well and bringing clients on, but it didn't make any sense. Like they were trusting me with their money. And you know, I was a young kid, right? I was a young kid, so it was a tough sell. So I said, right, there's plenty of new young money coming into the world. So the division, we called it Creation at the time, doesn't exist anymore. Someone else has took it over under a different brand name. But it was, the goal of it was to manage money for young people, 18 to 30-year-olds earning over $250,000 a year, I think we said. And that niche was influencers, creators, athletes, artists, young people that were earning significant incomes. And these people typically 10 years ago couldn't really earn a lot of money. It's now a lot easier for young people to earn money because of the internet, because of everything, because of the way the world is, right? So started doing that, took on a few good clients that were creators, celebrities, influencers, started managing a bit of money for them. Not huge deals or anything, but that was my sort of dipping the toes in the space. Started talking to them, started speaking to their agents, their managements for various things, their parents even, about why they should trust me to manage their money. Then I didn't really enjoy the job. I didn't like looking at spreadsheets all day and looking at money guide mappers and retirement planners for the next 50 years. I didn't enjoy it at all, and being on the phone all day, pitching to people. I felt like I was trying to sell something all the time. What we were given was good advice, particularly in the US. It's highly, highly regulated, as you know. So, you know, it was, you know, we were doing people a good service, but I didn't like it. But I liked the creator space. I liked speaking to these creators about their industry and what they do. Did a little bit of digging, found out about the industry, about the whole creator economy and the pace it was growing at. And when I say creator economy, I mean anything to do with creating content, whether it's an influencer marketing agency, a talent agency, a brand building agency for creators. Saw some stats. I've got a few stats written down here actually that I always touch on with people and with you know, on our company board meetings. We actually went through this the other day.
Show me them.
The global market for influencer marketing, people throw different numbers about there, but the number that I typically use is 30 to 40 billion currently. Goldman Sachs did a report recently where they predict it to be 250 billion by 2030. I think they said.
So the amount of money influencers are going to get paid is 250 billion by 2030.
They call that the value of the industry. So that could bring in a few extra categories like influence marketing agencies and stuff. But yeah, it's in the billions and tens of billions. Like
Big market.
Huge. You've got some brands alone are spending billions on influencers. Unilever this year, and I can send you the article after this. Unilever this year, a new CEO came in and he said, right, and as you know, Unilever own hundreds of brands. They're one of the biggest companies in the world. CEO came in this year and announced he's going to spend 20 more on creators than or on influencers than they already are. And that puts that one brand alone into the billions on their spend on creators. It's absolutely huge. So it's growing rapidly, 30 to 35% year-on-year growth, they're saying. One of the fastest growing sort of industries in the world right now, obviously aside from things like AI and crypto, but it's a rapidly growing industry. I saw this was still the same 5 years ago as growing. When I started the company, it was growing at the same rate. US influencer spend alone, that might answer your question here. That's 10 billion in 2025. Just in the US, influencers are going to get paid $10 billion this year. Most used brands and most used platforms, is still Instagram. TikTok's gradually making more ground and getting asked a lot more and more for creators to use. YouTube's still there, still super important. Slightly different type of brands because it's longer form. And then this is a really interesting stat. And it was the same when I started the company, which is when I went away and had this idea to start it. Each year, 80% of brands either maintained or increased their influencer spend in 2025. So 80% of them are spending at least the same or more, that's a big number in marketing. Normally they chop and change all the time. 47% increased their spend by 11% or more year on year. So every year they're spending 11% more and more on influencers than they were before. So typically a brand might have if you're a big brand, you might have $100 million marketing budget, which is not unheard of for a lot of these big brands. Let's say 10 years ago, it might be, right, 50% is TV, out of home, which is your billboards, all that kind of stuff. 20% might be radio, everything else, all the traditional forms of marketing. Now, every year, more and more percentage of that marketing budget is being allocated towards creators because it's working, and that's because that's where their audience is consuming their content. People aren't really watching traditional TV anymore. It's still there, but they're on their phones, they're scrolling, they're looking through this, they're on Netflix, they're on everything else. So they're choosing to spend their money where people are actually consuming content, which is social media. And influencers have a lot more impact than a paid boosted ad on social media. And then another interesting stat, 26% of brands allocate now 40% or more of their monthly marketing budget to influencers. So I'll read that again. 26% of brands globally allocate 40% or more of their marketing budget towards influencer marketing.
That's
So
huge.
over a quarter of them are spending almost half of their entire spend on creators, and it's going up rapidly. And I saw this trend.
I want some more of that.
Exactly. You're in a good space. But I saw that trend back in 2015, and I needed an investor, and I spoke to my friend at the time, who was just a good personal friend, and I said, look, this market's not going anywhere. I want to build a business where we connect brands with influencers. I didn't even know what talent management was, but I just said, if we can bridge that gap, creators a lot of the time aren't that business savvy, typically, which is fine. Most people aren't, but I had the corporate background. And I said, if we can find a way to bridge the gap between brands and creators, we take 20% of the fees that we work on for them, and we do that at scale. There's a huge market there. Eventually, after writing lots of business plans and getting the company logo tattooed on my arm before we even launched the business, he believed me, bought in, and then and that's how we started. That was 5 years ago now. And now, yeah, like I said, we're a team of, there's 10 full-time staff now. We turn over millions a year. We've got a 5-year plan to turn over $100 million in the year 2030. So we want to pay out $80 million to influencers in the year 2030. And we're on like a really specific track to how we're going to do that. And even that is a small slice of the pie.
What's the hardest part? The brand?
Yeah.
Or the influencer or the creator? What's in terms of working? Is it if you reached out to 50 brands and then you reached out to 50 creators, out of the 50 on each side, who's going to be coming back to you and who's easier to convert to work with?
Good question. So if we were working on the brand side, which is that running an influencer marketing campaign for a brand, who's more difficult?
Who's the easiest to become a client? Because they're both clients, yeah?
It's probably easier to sign a talent.
Easier to get the talent.
Yeah. But to get good talent, it takes a lot of time. But that's what we're good at, dealing with talent, which is quite a specialized skill. Like I said, you have to do everything.
So if I came on board and became a client of yours,
yes,
okay, little old Spencer, 55-year-old, middle-aged, bit of grey hair, got this dodgy podcast that's been going for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, what would you do what would be the case study and the process that you would do with me?
To almost sell it to you, to say, what value are we going to give to you?
Yeah, so let's say I said, no, I've heard your story. Okay, you can help make me money. I like that. I've got to do some work for it. You're going to get 20% of it. Done. Okay. What kind of brands would you reach out to want to partner with someone like me, or what type of digging would you do? What kind of due diligence would you do on me to start with?
Yeah. So, to the second part you said, digging we'd just check that there's nothing that's going to stop a brand working with you, which is like massive crises, like you've been to jail or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which that's easy.
I have been to jail.
Maybe that's fine.
For 5 hours.
Yeah.
For speeding in America, in Vermont.
That's probably right. As long
as I get away with that.
As long as it wasn't murder, you must.
Okay, good.
We'll take it. But yeah, we just check that we think your brand's suitable, because that is important. If brands don't see you as brand safe, then it's going to be difficult. But that wouldn't be an issue, and it's generally not an issue with anyone we deal with. The value that we'd give to you is, we'd say, like, look, what are you doing now? Is it a case of brands aren't wanting to work with you in terms of you're not getting much inbound? Like, are you getting if we're using you as an example, are you getting 10 emails a week of brands saying, I'd love to see how I can work with you, and it's just not converting for some reason? In which case our value would be, we know how to convert those conversations and inquiries into good paid collaborations. Or is it the fact that no one at all is reaching out? In which case it means someone has to get a little bit more proactive, which is where a team like us could come in and build a proper media deck, build proposals, build up packaged ideas to send to brands to get them interested to work with you.
So what kind of brands would you go out to for someone like me? So I get approached every week. I get an email probably every day.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm not interested in promoting someone's, I don't know, yoga retreat.
Yeah.
Or whatever it may be. There was an email that came through while we were sat here. Exactly the same thing. Stuff. I'm like, what's that got to do with me?
So with you and with most creators, we'd sit down with them and say, like, what are your do's and don'ts? Every time we onboard someone, we have a full onboarding document. It's dream brands is the top question we ask them. What is your dream brand to work with? So that'd be the first thing I said to you. Like, Spencer, if I could put you with any brand in the world that would want to collaborate with you and integrate their brand into your content, who would that be? So who would that be? Who would you love to work with?
Okay, I can't tell you right now, but I just agreed to deal with them next year.
Brilliant.
So I've worked for 2.5 years because I really wanted them.
Yeah.
And they came to me out of the blue. I'd given up hope.
Yeah.
And they came to me out of the blue and they said, can you produce an episode for us with this person? I said, do you remember the conversation we had 2 years ago and the conversation we had a year ago? And they went, yes, we can.
Yeah.
If we do that with you next year, will you do this for us now?
Perfect.
And I was like, deal.
Perfect.
So, but again, the kind of brand, it always ends up being stuff that I'm interested in, so
it has to
whether
make
whether it's crypto, whether it's in investing in some capacity, whether it's insurance. I find insurance really interesting. So stuff that resonates with me, my well-being, my health, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So it has to just make sense, and our job is effectively to get the best possible offers on the table.
So let's say that company was, because you asked me a question and I've ruined the answer. I've ruined it by not giving. So let's say that company was, for the sake of argument, BlackRock.
Yeah.
Let's just say it was that. It's not, but let's say it was. What would you then do?
So
that's my dream brand.
Yeah. So and normally we get a big list of them: dream brands and no-go brands or industries. So it could be moral or religious reasons or things like that and that's things that we'd like avoid. And if it's a creator that we are having to do a lot of outreach for, in terms of not a lot coming inbound, that's where we have to really do the hard work, basically, to try and make it happen and get someone out there. How we would do it with someone like BlackRock is, you don't just want to send an email to BlackRock, or if we were your manager, we don't want to send an email to BlackRock and say, hey there, I represent X, Y, and Z, or I represent Spencer Large.
Got any work?
Yeah. Do you want to work with him? And we've done that when I first started, and when we were working with various talent, and we've sent thousands of those emails, like literally thousands. Fortunately, now we've got some talent where all we're doing is turning down work because they're just getting inbounds constantly. So you don't have to do a lot of this. But if we're trying to really attack and find their dream brand, which isn't necessarily going to find them, or they're going to come to the top of mind straight away, we need to present the ideas to them. It's not a case of send them an email and saying, yeah, do you want to work with Spencer? They're going to ignore it. It's going to be someone that's managing an inbox that's getting thousands of emails all the time. The best way to do it is go to them with a packaged up, we like to call it like a packaged up present, gift, or some kind of idea that's going to save them time thinking of something themselves. And it has to feel like you're offering them an opportunity. So with BlackRock, it could be, hey, BlackRock marketing team, or whoever it is, we found them on LinkedIn and we found out who is the person that manages their internal collaborations. I work with Spencer. Just wanted to get this on in front of you. We're working on a new concept that's coming online in the next couple of months. The concept's all around investing and why people should invest in specific mutual funds and how it's best to do that. I'm just bringing this off the top of my head.
Yeah, good.
But an idea of a concept that is relevant to them, and it could be, we're going to be working with one brand partner on this, or one partner to sponsor this segment of the show, or to sponsor this series of videos. And we'd love to see if it's something that you'd be interested in before we approach X, Y, and Z, or something like that. That's a little bit aggressive, but you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's going to them with a ready packaged up concept that they could take away and be like, actually, we have got this bit of marketing budget left. Because ultimately, all these people in charge of these collaborations, they get assigned a marketing budget every year. And sometimes it's really significant, and their job is to just spend it. If they don't spend it, they don't get given it next year. And if we're going to them with something that makes sense, and we've maybe given them some stats, it might be right, this is viewed X million times over the last period of time, it has this much reach, blah, 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 blah. Going to them with all of that information up front, they're going to be like, actually, yeah, that makes sense. Let's have a chat. So that, going to them with a concept, an idea, something already tangible, is 100 times more likely to get a reply than a DM or an email saying, do you want to work together? So that's why when we are doing outreach for talent now, we do that. We say, okay, X, Y, and Z is doing a new Get Ready With Me next week. Would you like to be involved? This could be for a fashion and beauty girl, or we're doing a new series around this.
Got it.
This might suit you. And it works. We've done plenty of deals. I'll send in the insight saying, just to let you know this, or it could be an organic piece. This is another one. So we could send them an organic piece, if we're using BlackRock again, an organic piece of content that you've done about investing that's done really well and got XYZ views. We send it to them and say, hey, not sure if you've seen this piece of content. It performed really well on all of these platforms. We're going to be doing another one next week. Would you like to be integrated within it? I think it could be a great fit. Yeah, so there's some ideas we would use to get a specific brand working with a creator.
Young man comes to Dubai.
Yeah.
Learns as an apprentice, essentially in an industry, becomes a financial advisor, goes to live in the United States, comes back to Dubai, builds an influencer marketing agency, builds an influencer marketing, but primarily a talent management agency. And I like the way you said earlier, no, we're a talent management agency more than you were anything else. So I guess you're sensitive to that, and I understand and respect that.
Yeah.
Your target's to generate $100 million of revenue by 2030.
Correct. In that year specifically, 2030.
So in 2030, generate $100 million worth of revenue. That means you're going to be paying out
80 million, because our fees.
$100 million including what you're paying out.
Yeah. So
so you make 20 million. Your partners make 80 million.
Correct.
And if you make 20 million, you run your business, you make nice sizable profits. How old will you be in 2030?
I will be. That's 5 years from now, so I'll be 33.
Okay, and at 33 years old, you'll be a millionaire then?
Before then.
Before then.
Before then.
That's awesome stuff.
Hopefully.
Well, it's great to have you on the show. The insights have been really valuable. I've loved talking to you. I've learned so much, and I know the audience are going to have so many takeaways from here.
Yeah.
Because there's so much to unpack with this, maybe it might be a good idea to get you back on the show in a couple of months' time. But I want to get some more stats around AI influencers. So maybe you can do a bit more research for us on that and come back on the show. And I want to have this battle, okay? And maybe we'll get somebody on the show that's pro and you're against, and see where we go with that. But would you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool.
Absolutely.
Danny, thank you so much for coming on. I've really appreciated your time.
Thank you. Thanks, Spencer.